Hello, everyone. It's nice, and I'm amazed to meet you all after a very long time with yet another topic. Uh, Before we get into the discussions today, I would like you to confirm if you see today's topic on the screen and you hear me loud and clear. Just a thumbs up would acknowledge that. That's overwhelming. Thank you so much for your confirmation. So today's topic is integration of applications to defeat plotting. And would that actually defeat plotting? We'll see how it does if it does. And let me give you a quick intro about myself. For people who knew me for a very long time from LinkedIn and Twitter under Zoho Assist tag, I'm Anis. I head the customer support and pre-sale here for various products in Zoho, uh, like Zoho Assist, a remote support tool, Zoho Meeting, online conferencing tools, etc. So to get started with, um, we all know any organization would run under different teams. So it's not just that a single team can make it an organization. It obviously requires multiple teams. I have a few examples here from the teams that I have in my organization. So we have marketing team who works behind the leads, the prospects, how they promote the product. And we have support teams which will deal with the existing customer, or sometimes, we also do the pre-sale activity where, we conduct demonstrations, trainings for the prospects and the existing customers also. And we have testing team like any organization would have. This team will monitor the performance of every product in a company, and it will, uh, on periodic, do the testings or enhancements. Sometimes we also engage with existing customers to understand how a product works in their environment, and if need be, we also help them set up the servers and get into their servers and help them fix the issues or take up new features based on the environment and work on it. Now, the most important thing here is every team in our organization uses different tools. So we have a different set of tools for marketing, like we have CRM, we have campaigns, we have Zoho Desk. So basically, what they do is they deal with user data. They add in the user's email address, they add in users' actual physical address sometimes, and they run campaign across multiple people to engage them on various activity. Sometimes, they do the promotions, they do the marketing activity to multiple people for which they use. No, we prominently use Zoho CRM, and we have Zoho campaigns. We also have Zoho Desk that our marketing team uses to understand the history of every prospect or the customers, any conversation that has happened between an individual with our team here in the organization happens through Zoho Desk. Similarly, we have a set of tools used by our support team. For example, we again, depend on Zoho CRM to understand the user's need, which is captured there. Of course, user details like their email address, their physical address, their contact information. We have Zoho Desk that prints every individual's requirement, the issues they have reported since they came in until today. So any conversation that has happened with our support team or any other teams here in the organization is captured in Zoho Desk. We also have Zoho Sales IQ, which is an instant messaging tool that our support team uses to communicate with the prospects or customers to engage them and help them get the issue resolved. And most frequently used application here, which is Zoho Assist, to instantly get connected to our customers and pretty much look into their computer and help them sort out the issues if at all they have any, or even if they want to set up a POC or demonstrate what we are going to work on, happens on their computer through Zoho Assist. And few tools that are used by a testing team, like Zoho Assist, again, to get into the customer's environment, to work on their computer to understand if there is any environmental specific issues being reported. And we have bug tracker that will capture all the bugs that are reported by the customers. We have Zoho projects where we define the upcoming work tasks based on which the testing team works. And of course, Zoho CRM also to understand the user's details. Now, the question here is, we have multiple tools used by different teams. So what does the intersection happen here? The most important thing is we all deal with customer data. Few could be the actual user's information. It could be the issues or the history of a customer that we capture in Zoho Desk, or if there are multiple remote support sessions conducted with the customer, almost everything that happened during the remote support sessions also gets captured under Zoho Assist. So we have multiple tools being used by different teams, and it has to be shared across the team. So the support should not be going down to the testing team with a text saying, okay, this was the session, and these are the things that we captured during the remote support session. It has to happen automatically. So this intersection should happen between the teams. For example, if there is a record of a prospect or a customer in Zoho Desk that is being handled by marketing team, that should also be accessible for support team before they could get onto a remote support session with that particular customer to understand the history of anything that is being reported by that particular prospect or a customer. Similarly, we have tools commonly used between testing and supporting team. For example, we have Zoho Assist, where if there has been multiple remote support sessions conducted on a technician or on a customer, that has to be recorded for the team, testing team to have access to, so that they can work on it based on the report that is being given by the support team through Zoho Assist. Similarly, as and when required, the testing team should also have access to the user data through Zoho CRM that is being provided by the marketing team. So the data goes around to different departments. Now, is that all what we have? We also have a lot of hidden departments that we work with internally. Like we have agent department. Once we come down to agent department, we have gateway, we have viewer, we have UI and UX. So there are various departments combined together, making a product in an organization. So all these tools get evolved when it goes across different teams, different departments, and the data goes around with all the people across. And the most important thing is we also have to focus on what data the user should have access to, what data who should have access to. The security and privacy also comes into picture here, which we focus a lot. So the security and privacy is going to be another big topic that hopefully we will present it as a whole different presentation sometime soon. But to be honest, that is not something we are going to touch right now. So when it comes to data, we have set of data set, and we all know in an organization, most of the time, all the data set can be focusing on a single individual. So even though we use multiple tools across the organization, most of the tools carry the data of a single user or a single organization. Let's say, you have a customer come in or a prospect come in through Zoho CRM, you have the user's details like their name, email address, physical address, and we also pretty much capture their requirement in Zoho CRM. And we also may have Zoho Desk or some other tool that captures the same data. So there can be multiple tools working on the same customer. Now, what we have to focus on is data sync, not just capturing the data. We also need to make sure that each tool needs to be updated properly as and when required with the data that is shared across in two different tools. Now, besides data thing, the major thing that it ends up with is user experience. Now, how to create the user experience is by properly combining removing the duplicates. So multiple tools needs to work together effectively to provide proper, better user experience, for which we need to isolate the duplicates. We need to bring in the data all under a single tool. Now, we see that the data is being shared across different teams to for various reasons. Like I said, earlier, it could be from the marketing team going all the way to the support team, or sometimes to the testing team. Here, we need to focus on what data has to go through which tool to which team. That is where we also need to focus on the security to make sure we're not giving away all the data to everybody in every team. So this data sync has to happen with proper check across the teams for better user experience. Now, let's have a quick check here as to how many tools does your organization use. It's just a poll that would be raised right now. I have a panel team right beside me who will raise a poll right now. If you could just participate for us to understand the number of polls, the number of tools that your organization uses. Now, as you have done that, we will go to how does this integration defeat plotting. Now, we understood that we have various teams working together to bring a product or to build a product. And the data has been going around different teams when it builds a product. And we also been talking about every tool is focused on by the end of the day, it focused on a single individual or an individual organization. So to have a better experience, to make sure the data is safe and secure, we need to consolidate it, and we need to make sure that it is being properly channeled across different tools, not just duplicating it, but it is being properly used between tools. Let's pick a quick example here. So to effectively use the data from tool to another, what I have got here is a couple of tools that our support team uses here. One is Zoho Desk. Like I said, Zoho Desk gives the technician complete history about an individual or an individual organization. Let's say it has been quite a few threads going to and fro between the person, the actual customer, and the technician here on various requirements. It could be a fresh requirement or it could be an issue. And end of the day, the technician and the customer agree to go on a remote support session using Zoho Assist. So here, Zoho Assist is a whole different tool. Now, if at all the technician wants to work on the customer's computer, it should not be that the technician starts a remote support session from a different tool and gets the user information like the email address and maybe other details from the desk and go and work in Zoho Assist. This all should happen instantly under single tab. So here, what the technician does is goes into the ticket from where the discussion has been happening in the past, the threads that's been to and fro. And under the ticket, we have a button that says remote support. By clicking on it, it automatically opens up a remote support session, taking in the details from the desk. Let's say, we have the email address that is taken from Zoho Desk, and it automatically goes to Zoho Assist from where a remote support session has been started. And It also adds as a link in the ticket so that the customer can start a remote support session or joins the session from there. And the remote support happens right from there. Now, is that all what we end up with? No. At the end of the session, when the technician ends the session, it automatically captures all the history of the session and it binds it to the comment portion in the ticket. So what happens is it also adds value to the history. So let's say the same customer approaches the technician maybe like after a couple of days or a couple of weeks. The next technician who works with this particular customer should be aware of anything that happened during the remote support session. So the remote support session from a different tool adds comment to the Zoho desk, adding value to the history of whatever this customer has been going through. Now let's hear it from the experts to understand how integration helps in building up the business. Now this is from Aberdeen Group that says companies with integrated field service management system have an average response time of 4 hours compared to that does not work integrated, which is almost 8 hours. So it's like almost 50 percentage hours can be reduced when you work integrated with multiple tools in it under single roof. And we have a Salesforce study say integrating multiple apps can increase field service efficiency by 22%. That's a whole big number when it comes to business. Now, we did see that integration is a basic thing that requires in an organization to make the work effective and purely about holding up the data under single product instead of duplicating it under different product. Now, what are the other benefits of integration? The first thing is definitely about bringing all the data under a single tab. Like I mentioned, when a person is working on a customer or on a prospect, on a lead, the details like their email address, their physical address, their requirements, all these details will be captured under Zoho CRM, which is the source of contacts of every individual. Now, when it comes to discussion, it is back to Zoho Desk where people engage the user. We have our pre-sale team or sales team contacting them. It goes with their basic requirement and then an enhancement requirement and then a few issue that is being reported based on their environment. There are quite a few to and fro's that is happening in Zoho Desk. Now, we have all the contact details in Zoho CRM, but then we have the history in Zoho Desk. So here, it should not be that people are looking between the products. If I need to know about the user's email address, or if I need to talk to the user, I just need to call them. So I need their number to reach them, which is there in CRM. But then the issues are captured in Zoho Desk. That is where the integration works. So we have Zoho CRM and Zoho Desk integrated so that people can just look into anything that happened in Zoho Desk, in Zoho CRM itself. Similarly, like we just saw, when there is a remote support session from the technician to the customer, anything that happened during the remote support session gets captured and it binds into the Zoho Desk as a comment. So later, when the customer comes back about an update or with the logs or any additional data, the technician doesn't have to go back to Zoho Assist to look into the history to understand what happened in the last remote support session. But the integration, based on the integration, the technician can just look into the comments to understand anything that happened in the last remote support session. So all these happen in a single tab. Like I said, most important thing is to understand customers' history. For example, when a customer comes back after a couple of weeks and a technician picks it up, the customer just comes in and say, hey, I'm ready for a remote support session right now. Now, the technician would be surprised to know, I have no clue what the remote support session is about. That is when the technician goes back to Zoho Desk to see the history of the conversation that has been happening between the technician and the customer, and also look into the comments to understand the uh, history of any remote supposition that happened in the past. So integration helps capture the history, understand what the customer has been reporting from day one. And most important thing is to feel the comfort of your home application. Let's say, not with just Zoho Assist or Zoho CRM or any Zoho application, or even if it is a third-party application like, integration of Zoho Assist with ServiceNow or Jira. It's about your home application. Imagine you have your own application. You have a wonderful ticketing tool, or you have a wonderful mobile application, and you want to start a remote support session within your application, not going down to a third party tool or a different tab. We have options to integrate multiple tools into multiple applications. So with that, it gives you the comfort of home applications. So you have your own application from which maybe you can just on a single click start a remote support session, which makes it easy for you to get onto the remote computer, not going out third party tools. So that comfort will always make you, work better. The most important thing is exchanging customer details across application. Like I mentioned, when I have users information in CRM, like the name, email address, and various other details of a user, and pretty much same has to be captured or duplicated in Zoho Assist. Imagine if I want to start remote support session, I should not be copying the email address or the user's name from Zoho CRM into Zoho Assist, but I should just be able to integrate it. I should be able to just add all the contacts from Zoho CRM into Zoho Assist and instantly start a remote support session from Zoho Assist based on the contact that I have in Zoho CRM, or the way around. I should be able to start a remote support session right from Zoho CRM, just picking up a person from there, which means, I'm just exchanging the customer details from Zoho CRM to Zoho Assist without duplicating it. So these are the handpicked benefits of integration. We definitely have more that we can look into by digging more. But what should we look for when we think about integration? So we did see that there are various benefits of integration. But if I've decided to integrate, what would the basic thing that I should be looking for, or how would I pick an application for integration? The major thing that I have to look into is, does the application that I'm looking to integrate with my product has the option to integrate it as a native or OEM tool? Now, we look into it in deep later. The next thing I have is, or can I at least have the application into my marketplace so that, whoever want to use it can just pick it down and use it as and when required. The most important thing is, does this application support sufficient API for all the activities that has to be done? And if it is a mobile device, I should also have enough SDKs available from the application so that I just pick it up. I just bundle it up in my mobile application and I start my activity there. Like, just get into my contacts or look into the customer history or start a remote position or bind a ticket or task, anything that has to happen instantly from my application. Now, going down to the first method, it should be possible to directly integrate the application into my application. So I've been talking about the home application that gives you the comfort to just work within my application and possibly use other applications within my home application, not going down to any third party. So when I get there, the option is that the third-party tool that I'm going to integrate within my application should have a possibility to integrate it directly. Like, I should have sufficient API, I should have sufficient SDK. And when I talk about API and SDK, API for all the activity that I can do within my application, not going out to another tab or another application. The next thing I should have is the option to just put it on into my marketplace. I don't have to integrate it deep in my application, but it should be there in my marketplace. The best thing about putting it in the marketplace is my customers are not forced to use this integration all the time. But imagine you have a beautiful ticketing tool, and you also require a remote assistance tool to be integrated within it. Just by putting it into the marketplace, any user of yours, if at all they use this particular remote support tool, they can simply download it from the marketplace. They can use it as and when required, not forcing it on all your customers. So whenever you look for integration, make sure you also look for that particular application to be available to put into your marketplace. Like I mentioned earlier, it's not just the API that we look for, we should also look for the sufficient actions that can be done using the API. For example, let's come back to the remote support tool. When I talk about a remote support tool, maybe I can give you more details about it because, as you know, I've been with Zoho Assist for quite some time, and I can tell you how the integration work with within Zoho applications and also across third parties. So don't mind me if I bring in the remote support over and over. And I see this API being effectively used across different products for Zoho Assist because initially we started with only starting a remote support session and ending a remote support session with the API. But then later, based on the demand, we had to give them multiple options with just the API. You can generate a report using API. You can start a session using API. You can configure computers for using API. So these API came out based on the demand that we got from the users. So when you look for API from a product, make sure you look for API that gives you enough actions that you can do with that particular product. The most important thing, besides all these technical content, we also need to know how to use it. So we should have sufficient help document to for us to work on this integration on our own. It should be independent. So not just the API or SDK, we should also have sufficient help document through which we can just work it out without seeking any external assistance. Now, this pretty much covers what we have, what we get from integration, and what we need to look for while we agree to integrate our application with any other application. Now, let's again hear from Microsoft. What they say is 91% of IT leaders say that integration improves business process and increases productivity. Furthermore, 73% of respondents says that integrating their apps and systems has improved customer satisfaction. And not just with MuleSoft, I would definitely double this. Reason being, like I said, I've been with this support for quite a long time, and for us being in the support, we knew we are forced to work with multiple tools, and after these integrations, and again, there has been a lot of requests from our end to various products to get all the applications integrated, and that definitely increased customer satisfaction. So I sum up here with all that I wanted to say. That is pretty much it, which covers what all the basic requirements of integration. Why would we need integration? And it definitely defeats plotting. And if at all we agree to integrate it, what all we should be looking for and the benefits of it. So I really hope this tiny presentation helped you, or even if you need more details, you can reach us out either directly to Assist Support, or you can reach us out to our social handles like LinkedIn or Twitter, just as Zoho Assist, and we'll be happy to get connected with you. Thank you all for joining today.